Hey guys, this is the first video in the Smart Fortnite educational series, and I'm going to be discussing ideal settings and equipment, specifically on console. So just going to be taking you guys through my settings here. So to start off, wireless controller X and Y sensitivity. I have mine set at 6.6, and I know a lot of other top controller players have this as well, like Nick Merckx and Gronky. Only thing I really want to say about this is just try to pick a sensitivity and stick with it for muscle memory's sake. And then when we go down, but recommendation between 5 and 7 is probably going to be good. But then we go down to targeting sensitivity. This one I have at 0.3. This one is just so it'll slow down when I like press L2 to aim in for like my AR or SMG. So it's a little easier to track with the thumbsticks. So I would recommend having that one at 0.5 or below, between 0.3 and 0.5. And then the scope sensitivity, this is going to be when you have your sniper out, like through the sniper scope or the scoped AR, and you can experiment with this one. 0.35 works well for me. I would say experiment in playground mode to find the ideal sensitivity for that one. And build sensitivity, mine's at 1.5 because you definitely want to be able to whip around faster in build mode. So I think 1.5 is good. And edit mode sensitivity, I got mine at 1.3, so it's faster than my regular sensitivity, but not too fast, and I still feel like I have a lot of control in the editing. So if we keep going down here, next meaningful setting I want to make sure you guys have on is sprint by default. Make sure sprint by default is on, because in Fortnite you never should be walking. If you want to be stealthy and sneaky, you can crouch and then you'll automatically be walking, but when you're in the upright standing, you should always be sprinting, and having sprint by default on is going to make you faster building and just faster overall. So need sprint by default on. And then reset building choice, this one isn't really too big a deal because we're going builder pro, but I have it on. Aim assist, you definitely need that on. Edit mode aim assist though, I don't like that. I have it off, kind of messes with me when I'm editing. I say turn that one off. Turbo building, definitely need that on. That's so when you hold down like R2, a wall is going to be automatically placing. Auto material change is a good one to have on as well. Controller auto run is different than the sprint by default and is not necessary. Auto sort consumables to the right is something you should turn on. It's going to put minis, bandages, med packs, heals automatically on your far right side. It's going to save you a little time messing around with your inventory. And Builder Pro, build immediately. This one is huge. Need this one on. This means so instead of having to like press R2 to select the wall piece in Builder Pro and press it again to place, you now just press R2 once and it's going to place it. So you can press L2 once, place a stair, press R2 once to place a wall. Huge setting. Maybe the most important single setting is Builder Pro and Builder Pro immediately on, so make sure you have that one. Then controller edit time, in a couple minutes I'm going to recommend changing your edit button from the default circle to something else, so it'll be instant edit, so this isn't going to apply. And honestly, vibration, I know some people don't like it on. It feels like it gives them more control. So I don't know, personal preference there. I like the vibration. It feels more real. All right, so that's it for tab number 1. So now I'm going to press R1 and slide on over to the controller icon. And you see we got the options over here: old school, quick builder, combat pro, builder pro. You need to be on builder pro. If you're on Combat Pro and you don't want to switch over, the fact of the matter is Builder Pro is just much more efficient, even if you think you're good at Combat Pro and you don't want to relearn. If you're at Combat Pro, let's say your potential is right here. If you switch to Builder Pro, you immediately raise your potential way up here. It's just much more efficient to build and puts you on the level of like computer where you can, makes console and computer much closer in terms of building. So I actually have custom though, so I go down to the last one, press custom. And under this first setting, it's all combat controls, and I go with all the standard. Only thing I change is I change my edit button to L3, to the left stick. So that's usually sprint, but we have sprint by default on now, so I don't have a button to sprint. I'm just always sprinting, and I change that to edit. So then if you press R2, you go over to build controls in the custom settings. And here you want to make sure that these top ones are just the Builder Pro settings, where like R2 is wall piece and L2 is stair. And then only thing I'm changing here is I make L3 edit here, in build mode as well. And then we can go over to edit controls, press R2 again. And only thing we're changing here is make sure your L3 is confirm. So that means you're gonna press L3 to open up the build menu, and then you press R2 to like select which tiles you want to edit, and then L3 again to confirm it. And we also have R3 is reset. So if you pop a window in a wall, you can easily reset it by just pressing L3 to open up the menu again, then R3 to reset it, and then L3 once again to confirm it. So that's going to enable you to make quick edits and quick resets. And that's pretty much it in terms of ideal console settings. And now for ideal equipment, definitely need a over-ear headset. It's going to make it easier to tell which direction the sound's coming from, if it's above or below. And huge difference. Probably the single biggest piece of equipment is this headset. I've noticed huge difference when I'm playing just outside, or I'm sorry, just listening to the headset, or if it's just coming out of the TV, much harder to tell where my enemies are at. And lastly, another piece of equipment, a little more expensive, but worth it if you have the money, is a Pro controller. With mine, I have a Scuff controller. Only difference is I've got these two extra paddles on the back here, and you can program them to whatever you want. So I have this one programmed to jump for X, and this one switch to build for circle. So mid battle, instead of taking your finger off the aim stick to jump, I have my back panel, and also enables me to switch to build a little faster as well with the other back panel. So overall, just get yourself a headset, get yourself on Builder Pro, check out our other videos if you want to learn more of the basics and the fundamentals of being good at Fortnite and building and editing, and good luck out.